Welcome to Cancelled.
Chapter 32. The start of the sequel. Evie. 3 weeks later. La Jolla, California. It's been a few weeks since the New Year's Eve party, and somehow I'm living in a romantic comedy that refuses to end. The kind where everything is almost too good to be true, which makes me suspicious the universe is planning a catastrophic plot twist. My life doesn't usually unfold with this kind of ease, and the fact that it is makes me feel like I'm walking on black ice. Thrilled, but braced for the crack. Cruz and I have been spending nearly all of our free time together, falling into this easy rhythm that feels both natural and completely surreal. He told Joanna, our head of HR, about us the Monday after the break, and I had to sign a bunch of forms that basically said, "Yes, I'm dating the CEO. No, I'm not being manipulated or bribed. Yes, I understand the potential complications. No, I don't care." He's even spent time hanging out with me and Scarlett, on the couch, in the kitchen, just present, comfortable. Like he gets that she's part of the package. And when it's just Scarlett and me, he gives us space without question or ego. It's been low-key and drama-free in a way that feels both new and incredibly overdue. At work, we're consummate professionals who barely make eye contact in public. Cruz avoids the lab corridor like it's radioactive, and I time my breaks like I'm evading paparazzi. We've perfected the art of pretending we don't know each other intimately, which is both hilarious and slightly tragic. None of the other employees have said anything or treated me differently, unless you count Mateo's occasional teasing about sleeping your way into a corner office, which is delivered with enough affection that I know he's genuinely happy for me. Vivian, however, is an entirely different story. Her death glares have reached new levels of hostility that could probably melt steel, and she's made a few not-so-subtle snide comments in passing about workplace relationships and professional boundaries that make my skin crawl. There's something deeply personal in her animosity that goes way beyond professional concern, and it's starting to set off every alarm bell I have. I told Cruz about it, but he just brushed it off with the type of oblivious male dismissal that makes me want to shake him.
Viv's a phenomenal CFO. Her interpersonal skills need work,
He said, like that explained away years of what I'm increasingly convinced is personal vendetta. Romantic, right? Nothing says I love you like completely ignoring your girlfriend's concerns about workplace harassment. Still, I get it on some level. He's juggling a biotech company that could change cancer treatment for millions of patients, managing investors and regulatory approval and scientific breakthroughs that could save lives. Office drama with his CFO probably doesn't rank high on his list of priorities, even when that drama is directed at the woman he's sleeping with. Work is still work, and my role as operations manager in the CRISPR lab keeps me busy improving workflows and implementing efficiency upgrades for the lab scientists. But my nights? That's when everything shifts into something that feels like a completely different life. Tonight, we're at a tiny Italian place in Bird Rock that's tucked between a surf shop and a yoga studio. It smells like garlic and warm bread the second we step inside, and the low lighting is just bright enough to catch the gleam of wine glasses and the flicker of candles. The whole place hums with that cozy background noise of clinking forks and overlapping conversations. The kind of environment that makes you feel like you've wandered into someone else's family dinner instead of a restaurant. Cruz sits across from me, impossibly composed in a dark sweater that should be illegal, his sleeves pushed up just enough to distract me every time he moves his hands. He reaches across the table and slides his wine glass to the side, and I can tell from his expression that he's about to propose something that will either be amazing or completely disrupt my carefully planned life.
Take a few days off,
He says, eyes locked on mine with that intensity that makes it impossible to consider anything else.
Come to San Francisco with me next week.
I try to process the casual way he's just rearranged my schedule. For what?
JP Morgan Conference.
He says, like this should mean something to me. There's a pause while I wait for more information, and he seems to realize that JP Morgan Conference isn't actually an explanation.
Biggest healthcare investment event of the year.
He says,
I'll be in meetings all day with people who have more money than sense, but you'll love the city. We'll do dinners at night, then head back to the hotel so I can fuck you against those floor-to-ceiling windows while the whole city watches.
Cruz, I hiss, glancing around nervously. Keep your voice down. But his eyes have gone dark with that predatory look I'm learning to recognize.
I'm going to strip you naked and press you against that glass.
He continues in a low voice that somehow carries even more threat than if he'd been shouting.
Then I'm going to make you come so hard you forget your own name while every light in San Francisco spreads out below us.
My face flames red. What is it with you and windows? I whisper, trying to sound exasperated, but failing when my voice comes out breathless instead. Do you have some kind of exhibitionist complex I should know about? A slow, dangerous smile spreads across his face.
Only when it comes to showing you off, baby. The whole world should see how beautiful you look when you fall apart for me.
Cruz, stop, I whisper. But my body betrays me, heat pooling between my legs as his fingers trace higher up my thigh. Everyone will know what you're doing. He ignores my protest completely, his touch growing bolder.
Jesus, Evie.
He breathes when his fingers reach bare skin.
No underwear? You planned this.
I did, and we both know it. But that doesn't stop me from trying to press my legs together as his finger slips between my folds. Don't, I gasp. It comes out as more of a moan than a command. He finds exactly the right spot and circles it once, twice, watching my face intently. Just as I feel myself starting to unravel, he withdraws his hand completely. Cruz, I protest breathlessly. Without breaking eye contact, he brings his fingers to his mouth and slowly licks them clean.
Best dessert ever.
He says with wicked satisfaction. I'm left sitting there, flushed and aching and completely scandalized, while he calmly signals the waiter for the check. I hesitate because taking time off to follow my boyfriend to a business conference feels like crossing some kind of line I haven't fully examined yet. Isn't that a little public? Like showing up together at a major industry event? His smile is calm and confident in that way that suggests he's already thought through all the implications I'm just now considering.
We've already signed our HR paperwork. We're completely above board. Plus, it's San Francisco, not San Diego. Different ecosystem entirely.
I should say no. I should maintain some semblance of professional independence and not become the girlfriend who follows her CEO boyfriend around to business conferences like some kind of corporate accessory. But then he grins, and it's the one that's all boyish mischief and quiet fire. The one that made me fall for him in the first place. Fine, I say, trying to sound reluctant, even though my heart is already racing with excitement. But only if we stay somewhere with decent room service and a bathtub big enough for 2 people. He lifts his glass with the satisfaction of someone who knew he was going to win this argument from the beginning.
Deal.
Speaking of deals, there's something else worth mentioning. My lipstick prototypes have finally hit that perfect sweet spot. Long-lasting color without the cracked lips. The Moisture Lock technology working exactly as intended. And a finish that photographs beautifully under any lighting. Cruz helped me finalize the patent filing with a lawyer who specializes in cosmetics intellectual property, and even connected me with a contract manufacturer in LA who actually understands what I'm trying to create. Now I just need funding. Which brings me to the most terrifying and exciting part of this whole San Francisco trip. I've got a meeting with Damien next week, assuming he's recovered from Cruz's sister-induced trauma at the New Year's party. No pressure at all. Except, all the pressure in the world riding on whether I can convince his best friend that my lipstick empire is worth investing in. But right now, sitting in this tiny restaurant with wine warming my blood, and Cruz looking at me like I'm the most interesting person in the world, I'm just a girl in a red dress, falling harder for a man I definitely wasn't supposed to fall for. So maybe this isn't the end of a rom-com. Maybe it's just the start of the sequel.